Welcome to the Vanilla to Vixen podcast. This show contains adult content, so if you are under 18 or easily offended, please switch off now. Mr. and Mrs. N are not qualified relationship counsellors. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Now the disclaimer is out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy our journey from Vanilla to Vixen.
Welcome to episode 142 of Vanilla to Vixen. We're your hosts, Mr. and Mrs. N, and we're also sometimes known as...
The Naughty Couple.
Hello, Mrs. N.
Hello, Mr. N.
We are back for a very big, action-packed episode of Vanilla to Vixen.
We've squeezed it all in.
Talking of squeezing, we've got some very, very, very special guests on the show. This week we're doing our time travelling thing again.
We are.
Okay, so we're here now, but we're kind of going back in time to last Saturday for the Mansion Collaboration Party.
Yes.
Where we met up with fabulous couples, and we mentioned them last year when we were at the V2V party.
It was the summer party.
The massive summer party. And we just wanted to go for a quiet lay down somewhere. And all these people came out the room, one after the other, after the other, after the other.
They just kept coming, didn't they?
And it was only a small playroom. And we've actually got those people on the podcast this week, which is last week, which is really, isn't too confusing. We're not talking about time travel. It's too confusing.
Too confusing, yes.
But it's great anyway. Now, before we start, we've got a lovely message sent to me from Roger and the Cabin Girl.
Oh, lovely.
Okay. He says, a guy and a girl meet in a bar. They get along very well that they decide to go to the girl's place. Not bad. A few drinks later, the guy takes his shirt off and then washes his hands. He then takes off his trousers, and again, he takes his trousers off and goes and washes his hands. The girl has been watching him and says, "You must be a dentist." The guy, surprised, says, "Yes, how did you figure that out?" "Oh, it's easy," she replies. "You keep washing your hands." One thing leads to another, and they end up having sex on the bed. And after it's all over, the girl says, "You must be a very good dentist." And the guy's now laying there, all laying back like a porn star, going, feeling pretty happy with himself, with his inflated ego. And he says, "Sure, I'm a good dentist. How did you figure that one out?" She says, "I didn't feel a fucking thing." Thank you very much, Roger.
That's brilliant.
I love it. I love that one. We're going to start the show. We have had loads of messages this week. We've had a lot of messages. The postman's got a hernia. It's not really, it was all email. We've had messages from people following on. We've had one from Pinky P.
Right.
And she wants to be known as Pinky P.
Okie dokie.
And she says, "Dear Mr. N, following on from your unsuccessful attempt at buying a boat for V2V.
Yes.
And your further unsuccessful mission for leasing a prison." Don't remind me. She says, "I thought you would like this." And it's just a link.
Right.
So I clicked on it.
Yeah.
And it's from rightmove.co.uk.
Okay.
Which, for anyone that doesn't know, Rightmove is a place where you can buy or lease property, and it also has commercial property on it.
Yes, you can view what's up for sale or rent, can't you?
I clicked on the link.
Yeah.
And here it is. The former Archway Methodist Church.
What? Oh, my word.
In London, N19. Price on asking. Right? 12,500 square foot. And she says, "How about a church for V2V?"
I think we'd all combust as we walk through the door, wouldn't we?
Exactly. Spontaneously combust. And so it gets worse.
Okay.
Because then, you know the gorgeous Vanessa.
Yes.
From Vanessa and
Barney. Yes, the sexy squirrels.
The sexy squirrels are curvaceous creatures, which is held at the Purple Mamba Club.
It is.
She sent a message in going, why not a church? So just everybody wants me to spontaneously combust.
That's interesting. Maybe we should look.
Well, no.
No? Okay.
Because I thought it says POA.
Right,
price on asking.
Yeah.
For the former Methodist Church. London's a bit far for us.
It is a little bit.
So I thought, well, you know what? I'll have a look. So I Googled. Google's your best friend. And there's actually churchofengland.com where you can lease churches, former churches. God is giving up some of his houses for lease at the moment.
Oh, my word.
And there are more churches for lease.
Okay.
So I found one in East Midlands.
Oh, okay.
Actually in Leicestershire.
Rightio.
Right, so I thought, okay, let's have a look. Dig a bit further. £8,000 a month.
Wow.
£8,000 a month they want lease for a church.
Yeah.
I was working out, that means we'd have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'd have to do about 10 V2V parties a week.
I would imagine it could be a little bit nippy in there as well.
And you've only got one single room, so no one could stay over. And I don't know where we put the bar. I don't think we fit many bottles behind the parapet.
Probably not. I was also thinking that, we could have fun ringing the bells, though.
Yeah, and the bell pulling might be useful for other things. But apparently we've got to do it because Mr. Saucy has already got the outfit.
Well, this is true. He has. Yeah, he would fit in very well there, wouldn't he?
Oh, we had another one before I stop.
Okay.
Roger, again, from Rogers and the Cabin Girl, sent this one.
He's been a busy bee.
He has. Now, this one is, I think, the best one so far, right? Mm-hmm. He says, Mr. N, here we go. How about this? It is a former control tower on the business park in Long Bennington, Newark, right?
Okay. Oh.
So he sent this. It's another link to...
It's
another link to rightmove.co.uk. This is unbelievable. Everybody's just spending all their time. No one's doing... You know the reason there was a blackout?
It's because everybody's looking for venues.
Yeah, there was a blackout in Portugal and Spain this week because no one's doing any work. Everyone's just pissing around looking for swinging venues. So this was sent in from Roger and the Cabin Girl. We love those two. And it's the former control tower in Roseland Business Park in Bennington, Newark. Right?
That's awesome.
Oh, this is awesome, this one. It gets better.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
So this is on a private road, which is 1.25 miles long.
Wow.
Off the A1.
You'd be all right for parking then.
If you go on to rightmove.co.uk, you can actually see this property for lease. And I'm like, this is going to be expensive. 3 stories.
Yeah.
Right, okay, 3 stories. One slight problem.
Okay.
It's a former watchtower. Well, there's 2 slight problems. I looked at the price, £2,556
okay.
a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's good. We could do that.
We could do that.
That's the budget. Good.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Right. Okay.
There's a lot of glass.
Yeah. You're approaching the first issue. It's an exhibitionist's dream.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably why I was like, ooh, I like it.
It's a watchtower. It's 3 stories high, so there's more than one room in it. So it's already beating the church. Okay. It's only 2,556 English pounds.
I've got a question.
Yes.
If it is down a mile and however long driveway, is it surrounded by any other buildings?
No, it's on a large, what once was a farm, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's now like a business park. So we're all right. Okay, we're okay.
So how likely is it that people passing,
well,
would they actually see anything?
That's a good question. Because I thought, well, it's all glass, but Jimi Hendrix...
Okay.
Hang on with me on this one. I know we're going from Jimi Hendrix once wrote a song called All Along the Watchtower.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I think if we had V2V at this building, there would be people all along the watchtower. That's what Jimi Hendrix meant with all along the watchtower. Okay.
I don't see an issue with it. I quite like that.
I don't know. I'm not so sure. It's a beautiful building. I suppose we could buy curtains.
Well, you could.
Yes. The other slight problem, I did say there was 2 problems.
Yeah, you did. What's the other problem?
It's classed for use B1. Do you know what B1 means?
No idea.
B1 in property terms means business class.
Okay.
If the business is monkey business, then we're going to be all right.
Okay.
If it means fax machines, coffee machines, and general day-to-day boring shit,
Yeah.
we're not going to be all right.
Okay.
It's got a nice spiral staircase, though.
I don't. I'm looking at it. It is actually stunning. It's beautiful.
So, I don't know. I'm not so sure. I will probably give these people a ring.
I think you should. Why not?
3 failures in 3 weeks.
Exactly. The thing is, with us, with V2V, we like to do things a little bit different. So,
A watchtower.
A watchtower.
We might have to just something with a glass. Please keep sending these in.
Yeah, we're loving these. We're loving all these new. I have to say, I did some Googling the other day, and I actually found an old police station up for lease.
Oh, have they still got the cells in there?
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't that type of police station. It was just like an officey thing. So
if someone's bastardised it already first, it's pointless. It's
I just
boring.
thought, how cool would it be? Because it actually had outside on the front of the building, and it was like it was carved in the stone. It actually says police station on it.
Oh, that's cool.
So I just thought police station V2V underneath.
That'd be cool.
Well, that'd be quite cool.
Keep sending them in. Dear listener, keep sending these in. If you are a property owner and you don't mind something a little bit niche, a little bit out the ordinary, send us a message.
We're all relatively well-behaved people, aren't we?
We're not hellraisers.
We're not. No, not at all.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Right.
So before we move on to the main part of today's show...
You mean the meat and 2 veg?
The meat and 2 veg, although I think there was probably more than just one meat and 2 veg.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The other week, or a couple of weeks ago, we introduced the listeners to the wonderful Mrs. Mother Trucker.
Oh, she's beautiful, Mrs.
She is
Mother Trucker.
absolutely beautiful, but she's also filled with useless pieces of information.
Some of them make me feel a little bit queasy.
Yes. So I'm not sure about this week's. You may feel a little bit queasy about this week's as well. But
oh, no.
She's very kindly sent in this week's Fun Fact Friday.
Fun Facts Friday.
The very first body part a human embryo develops is an anus. So yeah, we literally started life as an arsehole.
Oh my God, she's done it again.
Arse.
I nearly spat my oasis out then. My summer fruits. Oh my goodness.
There you go, you see?
Oh, and it's the way she does it in her beautiful West Midlands tones. It's speechless. I don't know what to say.
There's not much you can say.
Right, moving on. We've got the gang that put the bang in gangbang.
We certainly do.
We're going to introduce you to some more beautiful people.
Yes.
In this amazing community.
You have heard us talk about these a couple of times on the podcast.
Yeah.
And we've finally got them here in person.
And this was all recorded on location at the amazing Kateshill House in Bewdley, Worcestershire.
Yes.
Where we held the mansion collaboration party with the amazing Fred and Wilma and Sarah and Jim.
Yes.
And before the party, we were like, let's record a podcast.
As you do.
So if it's a little bit echoey, and that's because the main room is huge. It
is huge.
Beautiful ballroom in this mansion, and it's all a little bit echoey. We're taking you, listener. Feel all the beautiful ambiance with the gang that put the bang in gangbang.
Exactly.
Here we are in the beautiful town of Bewdley. We avoided the pitchforks.
We did.
Because it is a beautiful town.
It is lovely.
And we are sitting in this beautiful Georgian hotel.
It's stunning. I love this place.
Yes, it's absolutely gorgeous, which is going to be turned into tonight it's going to be a mansion collaboration.
It is, yes.
We've got Fred and Wilma, and we've got Sarah and Jim hosting with us.
Yep.
And then we've got Nocturnal Vixens V2V. It's all happening.
That's when it gets naughty.
It's all happening tonight. All happening.
I just have to say for the listeners, you've got to imagine this now. I'm sitting in a leather armchair.
I feel like I'm missing a smoking jacket. I feel like I need
you
one.
need one of those.
It's still light outside.
We've got the beautiful grounds behind us, big sash windows, lovely soft leather chairs. It makes a big, big difference to what we usually have when we're in the studio, isn't it?
Fred and Wilma have just popped in through
Say
the door.
hi, guys. Hello. Yay! Hey!
Guest appearance.
Any more jokes, Fred?
No, not today. I'll think of one and let you know.
All right then.
See, anyone could pop in. It's going to be like it's just going to be one of those shows today.
It's going to be an awesome show today.
But with I'm very excited now. I'm very excited to announce our guests today. These are celebrities.
Actually, in our eyes, they're legends.
Legends in their own lunchtime. We have Chip and Cherry and Rake and Rascal. I remembered everybody's name.
Yay! It'll be the one and only time. Hello, guys. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good, thanks. Hello. Right, just for the listeners, just so they can remember. So we talked about this group of people on the podcast a few months ago.
It was longer than that.
It was
summer party.
Yeah, it was the summer party where myself and Mr. M were sitting on the landing at Liberty Elite waiting for a room.
Just to sit down. We just wanted
to sit down. Yeah, it was crazy. And out of the double bedroom walked this. They just kept walking. All these people just kept coming out of the room.
Yeah,
didn't they?
There were rascals. There were cherries. Rakes and everybody.
Which is why I say they are legends, because it was like, I just wanted to give you a round of applause as you came out of that room, because it was just like, whoa.
It was good. It was good.
And we finally managed to pin them down, so we've got them on the podcast.
In location, right before the party. So guys, how did you get into this naughty hobby?
We were talking about this on the way down, actually. But and just for context, that was our first event of any kind
ever. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Our first club visit, our first event, first everything, really.
Wow.
Which was it was a great start.
That was a baptism of fire for you, wasn't it?
It certainly put a pedestal that you had to kind of live up to after that. Trying to find something else to beat that's been a challenge, I think.
Yeah, maybe tonight.
Well, let's hope so, but at least it won't be sort of as manic.
We don't know.
As the summer party. Well, it might be.
We don't know.
Well, we have limited the guest list slightly, though, haven't we? Not at 250 this time.
No. Not at 250, but it is a sellout.
It is a
sellout.
sellout.
It's a total sellout. So you've got 3 hosts. We've got 3 lots of parties. So people are coming from everywhere tonight. It's going to be naughty.
It's going to be awesome.
So that's why we put ourselves down, because it looked like it was going to be a really good night. So.
Oh, it will be, honestly. You're going to have a great time.
So in terms of how did we get into the naughty hobby, we watched a television programme that we know you know about. We won't mention it any other way than that. And it starts a conversation. Yeah. And that's always a benefit, isn't it? But I don't think we wound the clock back a little bit in our own lives to a good few years ago, where we ended up in a strange scenario in a rather large house, not too distant from here, actually, with some friends of ours that were just mutual friends that we just ended up playing games and a little bit of fun along the way, maybe. And then that was it, really. It was kind of a one-night only bit of entertainment when in our younger years. And then it just kind of, life took over, and they went their way, we went ours, and they didn't stay as a couple anyway, so that was that. Then children and one thing and another. And then I guess as your children get a bit older, and as Cherry would say, you get a bit bored of some of the other people around you.
Yeah, I got
you sort of look for a bit
fed
more.
up of boring friends, dogs, caravans, extensions. I needed some more excitement.
And a bit of an outlet as well, really, from your kind of day-to-day life. So we did happen to stumble along a TV programme with a couple of series to watch, which we pretty much binge watched, I think. And then actually, Cherry, you had a conversation with somebody who was very open about being in a swinging lifestyle, and that was great. But obviously piqued an interest, and kind of you asked that person, well, how do they find people? How do you go out?
Yeah.
And then they mentioned an app. They didn't say what.
Because you don't know anything. It's like, well, it's almost like an underground world to begin with. Yeah. It's like, well, how do you find people?
Yeah, I came home from work and you were like, well, go and ask her what app it is. I'm not going to ask her. I can't do that.
Probably best you didn't, but there, you know.
So then we just started searching and found some weird stuff.
It turns out when you Google apps for swinging, there's stuff that comes up. And so, we just, then about, where are we now, April? So about this time last year, probably.
Okay, so it's been about a year.
Decided to create a profile. And then the rest is history, I guess, after that.
And here
you met
are.
us, lovely love.
We did, yeah.
I was going to ask, actually, obviously I want to know how you guys got into it.
So that was Chip and Cherry.
Yes.
So now we're going to move over to Rake and Rascal.
Yes.
So I'll let you tell the story on this one, because it's normally me.
Again, watching programmes, names won't mention. And again, conversations went along of, how about, what ifs, and how do you do that? Oh, that looks fun.
Who was the brave person that actually went, I wouldn't mind trying this?
Well, there's a bit of a story to that, because there wasn't really a plan the first time we went to a club.
Right.
So we were in Nottingham for a night out.
I think it was actually for your birthday, wasn't it? We'd booked a brunch.
Yeah,
cocktails.
so bottomless brunch, lots of cocktails.
9 cocktails down.
Still standing at that point.
I think we were pretty good. We did go back for a nap.
We had a nap. And then you said, well, let's Google where a certain club might be. And
the decision was like, if it's close, we go in.
Okay.
If it's miles away, we're not. It was a mile away.
It was close.
It was close.
So off we went.
So completely unplanned, completely unprepared. So Madam, it's like jeans and a top, because we hadn't planned this in the slightest.
We didn't know what you would have to expect when you walk in either.
So we sat there, and what we refer to as the fresh meat chairs.
Fresh meat chairs.
Where they sat and they do all the paperwork and everything, and we sat there going, what the hell have we done?
I was going to say, when did reality suddenly hit in?
Oh no, it gets worse. So
okay.
So we got out to the fresh meat chair, got shown around by this scary guy in a kilt.
He's a lovely guy.
He was very nice.
They were absolutely lovely people there, weren't they? It was mermaid night.
Was it?
Yeah, so jeans and a t-shirt didn't really cut the mustard.
Not really.
So we've done the tour. I sat down, and the first people we talked to are content creators, proper like hardcore.
No.
So we sat there like, holy. So I think they were the Knights. I think they were, or something like that was the name. But yeah, you can imagine we're sat there going, what the hell have we done?
Yeah, what the hell have we done? Yeah. But then again, after that, we went, let's go to another one. And we did a bit of a tour, haven't we?
Yeah, we kind of worked our way around most of the clubs.
Started at the north and went south.
Yeah, so we did Purple Mamba, Penthouse, Extasia, Cams.
Libs,
obviously.
Wasn't that our first time there?
That was the summer party was our first time at Libs.
Okay, so did you guys know each other before then?
We had met up.
Social. So we met up as a social.
Yeah.
Well, twice actually, because obviously when we get to that part, there's 8 of us.
Yeah.
So obviously there's only 4 of us in. And so we had met you guys for a social, hadn't we? And then there was another couple that we had met as a social, who we then all the 6 of us met, and then realised between us that all of us were talking to the other couple. Sort of separately.
It's such a small inbred world. Inbred world.
I'll call it inbred, but it's a closed circle. And then we all realised we were all talking to the same people anyway. And then it's like, well, anyone got a weekend free where we could all kind of catch up? And it happened to be B2B party weekend anyway.
Oh my god!
So everyone's like, yeah, we'll do that.
So it's literally like Friends Reunited going on upstairs.
Friends
who benefit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the first
We'd
one.
only really just all kind of got into
all
the
of us
lifestyle.
So you were all kind of at the
same.
same level,
Yeah.
quite new to it all.
That's one hell of a
That is
meeting.
We're now legends.
Honestly, we sat on that floor and it was like 1 couple, 2 couples, 3 couples, 4 couples. It's like, what's going on?
Well, you know how hard it was to get that
room. Did we not give you a round of applause or something? I think we did, didn't we?
You know how hard it was to get that room?
On the summer party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everywhere was absolutely rammed. And then we'd gone to the main room downstairs.
Yeah, that
try
was
and
kind of
find some
like,
space.
oh my god!
Oh.
Like over the door, and people are at it everywhere. I need to go and like hide somewhere for a few minutes.
So we sent a couple of scouts off, essentially, Rake and Rascal, sent them off, go and see what's free, go and have a little wander around.
Yeah.
And so they went upstairs, and room was free upstairs, so one held the room. It must have literally just come available.
Good idea.
So they ran downstairs, quick, upstairs, get everybody together. And that's all right. So we all kind of went upstairs.
You did very well.
Organisation, so good organisation.
Yeah.
But those rooms are so hot.
They get really warm in there, don't they?
It doesn't help when you got...
Late of you.
And when there was about 250 people inside, it didn't help really.
Yeah, should we just not mention that one again?
It wasn't just inside.
I
There
think
was
we
action.
just about got away with it that night, didn't we?
Yeah. We won't mention that again.
No.
Are we having another one this year?
There is a summer party this
We
year.
are doing another summer party. I've under strict instructions that under penalty of death not to overload the guest list for this year's summer party.
But I have a feeling that your definition of overloading is slightly different anyway.
It is.
So-
It is until the ink runs out in the pen.
Yeah, that's right.
Doesn't matter how many times I go, no more.
It's just true.
But. Isn't it?
What made you decide to come to the Mansion collaboration today?
We've done a few of the socials actually. They're a really good way of meeting a group of like-minded individuals that you can have open conversations with, and that's one of the benefits of the whole naughty hobby in the first place, isn't it? Really about meeting people with similar views to you that won't judge anything that you've got to kind of talk and think about. We'd obviously been to Liberties anyway, and we know, and we've been to V2V Party, we've been to 3, I think now, 2 or 3, and they're always very open, welcoming, they're good fun, because there's usually a theme of some sort. It just gives a bit of a focus as well, doesn't it? And obviously having you guys as the host, and obviously all very, very welcoming all the time, it just makes you feel part of it as soon as you arrive. Go to a club cold, as I would say, and it, you know, that's what it is. You're going into a club, you might meet people there if you know somebody else that you met up with. But to have kind of an event on just means you're kind of already part way into that way of thinking, party night kind of thing.
It's like a step, I suppose, isn't it? It's like a step to get used to that little step.
I mean, we said when we first got into it all, we didn't really know anything about socials and stuff, did we?
I don't really think there was socials back then as they are now. I mean, now there's
old.
Yeah, that is true. But now there's really established socials, isn't there? Whereas before there wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and West Midlands has loads of socials and sort of up north. Yeah.
I mean, obviously the Birmingham social, which we went to last week, 2 weeks ago, there was probably about 60, 70 there, but that I can see that growing quite big actually.
Yeah.
Just because of its position.
Yeah.
You know, the location was very close to city centre, transport, all that kind of stuff. You've got everything you need there, and people can travel in and travel out. So, and there isn't really one right in Birmingham. So obviously Fred and Wilma have got Liberated Voice.
Yeah.
We haven't been to a Liberated Voice standalone LV event.
Okay.
Simply because it's very close to home, if that makes sense. And so there's still a nervousness between us about whether we do that or not.
Where I grew up,
bumping into the neighbours. Bumping into the neighbours.
My cousins, that'd be a nightmare.
But we did go to the CAMS event, which we all went to, didn't we? And that was, again, co-hosted by Fred and Wilma.
Yeah.
And Jim and Sarah, and that was great, so we got to meet them there as well. And again, it's just like with you guys, it's somebody welcoming you in, tour of the facility. We did go out to PDI earlier in the year. You don't get that kind of introduction when you go to a club over there, I can tell you. Well, that's not true, actually. Some you do, but...
So what's your opinion then of what's the differences between going to PDI and the UK swinging scene?
They're like shops from what you described.
Well,
They're
not,
just in a
if
shopping mall.
Anyone's been to the main place in PDI, I don't know, it's Chucky on acid.
The Cedar Centre is a bizarre place.
It's scary.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah.
Tell us what you saw and what you experienced.
Lots of German families watching you go into a sex club. And the kids are just sat there. It's bizarre.
It is bizarre.
So when it's an Oompa Loompa kind of... Is it Oompa Loompa?
There's like... so if you go into Cedar, depending on which entrance you go from, you can either go from the Eiffel Tower, you can go from the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So even me saying these things sounds bizarre. That's because they've all got a statue at the entrance to all of this 1960s, 70s build shopping centre, which is like a 3-level shopping centre. All on like a square,
sex clubs.
And then you've got like the middle layer, which is shops. It's a shopping centre.
Yeah,
and there's bars and things on there as well. And in the evening, the shop's closed, the bar's open, and you've got various different bars. A lot of them are frequented by. There is a couple of big German bars, and they are big as well, so they're loud. You've got to literally walk straight through the middle of this bar to get to like the meat bars further on.
And this is not like an adults only place, is it?
It's families.
Just families. Yeah. It's insane. That sounds absolutely
but
insane.
It's just, you don't really think anything of it because everybody knows.
Yeah.
And that's why you go into a bar where you're just meeting up with other people before you go downstairs. And you do go underground when you go to the clubs which are all downstairs.
So do the clubs, they don't open until later on, or are they open all day as well?
Some of them are open. There's one that's like a spa, so it's got a sauna, a steam room. That's open all day, pretty much. There's a cinema. That's open all day.
And then the rest of them watch Disney. In that cinema.
You might watch a form of Disney.
Will somebody please tell me what happens to the plumber?
So there, you don't. So the club that we went to, what do we do? 2 or 3 clubs? Can't remember now.
2. Well, 2. One there, and then we did Eden, which
is outside. That's a different area, and but again, it's in the shopping centre.
Yeah.
Just a random shopping centre, but not far from where we were. That was slightly different. That was run by an English couple.
Yeah.
They used to work over here, probably. I can't remember where. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And that was run by an English couple. And they were very welcoming. They did show you around, and they were very nice. And again, a lovely club. It was a really nice place, actually. Good play areas and also good socialising areas. The bigger club that we went to, the one that was in the Cedar Centre, is very much a kind of walk up to the locked doors, pay money
Have
with
your secret handshake.
I was just going to say that. You beat me to it.
I say locked doors. There's obviously the big sign across the top, secrets. Then you walk in to a lobby area where there's a man that speaks very little English, taking your money off you. And we said, do we get a bit of a tour? And he opened the door, kicked us in and closed the door behind us. I think that was our tour.
Right.
It's just in there.
Yeah. He didn't even say that.
Did he mumble under his breath?
And just sort of said, I think he did say, lockers to the right. I think that's all I heard. And then and bar in front, which was pretty obvious because it was in front. And then we just thought, well, let's do what any normal person would do in this situation. We'll get a drink.
Wonder.
Yeah.
We need a drink. So we went and got a drink at the bar and thought, we'll just do a lap. We'll do a lap of the club and see what's what.
Well, that's pretty intimidating if you've never been anywhere, isn't it? I'd imagine. I mean, you'd already been to clubs, so I suppose you kind of like... But for people that were first timers, if they're thinking, well, we're away on holiday, no one will see us, here's our chance. I'd imagine it could... Do you think it could be quite intimidating?
Well, yes and no. Then, so there's groups that are set up here in the UK.
Yeah.
We run a Telegram group for PDI, so anyone can list their dates on there that's going out. So you already, by doing that, you can already kind of get a feel for who's out there. And there are other bars that are outside of the shopping centres that you can go and meet people and hang out. And they're not bars for swingers, but they are bars where swingers go and meet up. So you can meet people beforehand, so you're not necessarily going on your own. They're still very welcoming. They don't feel non-welcoming. It's just that you're aware that you could be with anyone from anywhere, I guess.
So
you're not on a guest
did you
list or
go
anything, so.
there pure intention of going to the clubs and stuff? Or
We
was
went.
it?
We hooked in on somebody else's holiday.
One of the couples that was in the room of 8 with us, they kind of said, "We're going to PDI, come with us." And we're like, "No, we can't leave the kids behind."
I suggest
yeah, we
we
can.
We were also invited, but we couldn't.
But you're coming next time.
I mean, we sent plenty of snapshots back to them so they could see what they were missing and a few scare
We were
stories.
very jealous.
We gathered. So we did go with another couple, so we weren't necessarily on our own as such.
Yeah.
But one of the nights where we planned to meet with a few other people and gone out, one of us wasn't feeling very well that night, so we just decided we'll go out for the social and then we're just going to go back. And everybody else went out and had a good night.
Too much sun, naked sunbathing.
Go naked sunbathing in the day, remember to wear sunscreen. And public service announcement. So we just said, we'll go back. And they said, well, if we go back, that's fine. We'd never been to a club on our own. We'd always been with other people.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, why not? Why you're in a different country and, you're a million miles away from anywhere? What's the worst that could happen? So the next night, we just decided to go on our own.
And did you... sorry, I'm really digging now because I'm interested to know. Did you play with anybody while you were out there?
We stood in this club and we were like, can't hear another English voice. Oh my God, right, let's have a wander, have a listen, see if we can hear anybody that's got a remote English accent.
That's only just occurred to me that you could be playing for with
Yeah.
other...
Yeah. God knows what he can send you to in French or German or Dutch. Yeah. So we did hear another English couple and we just started talking to them. Then ended up in this massive room with dodgy swings and all sorts in there.
Note to self before booking holiday, learn some German and French.
I think you'd have to be very
Or release those code words.
Absolutely.
The way that the club is set out, you have an area, so the single males on any night of the week, the same as in a lot of clubs here. And obviously that was a new thing for us. We've always gone with couples and single females night, hence the V2V parties rather than the Vixen party.
Very good.
Right, okay, right, I'm
Passed the
there.
test, you remembered.
Saturday, not Friday. There you go. That's
There
the
you
information. Okay, but we thought, well, we'd heard that there's couples only area.
Okay.
We thought, okay, that's fair enough. So when you're in the bar or the dance floor, or if you head off down to the right of the club, that's where single males can be mingling with everybody else. There are some rooms along the side of there. You ended up down a little bit of a rabbit hole, didn't you? Which had to pull you back.
I just went for a wander, but then there was a lot of cocks being poked out of holes.
Okay.
You grabbed me back.
Quickly, you could have disappeared for hours down there. So pulled you out, and that's when we went back.
There's a sweet shop down this way.
Actually, interesting, they had an area which is like a cage front, if you like.
Yeah.
And guys can stand at the cage front looking through into the couple's area, but obviously they can't go in.
Yeah.
But obviously the women who are on the other side of that, in the couple's only area, can come up to that caged area and obviously play, which is an interesting one. Which obviously, when you go on the other side, you can see. There is a viewing window where, again, people can watch through into the couple's area, but it's not really any different to any club you go here. The one thing I would say is it's bloody dark in there, like really dark.
Yeah, there's a few clubs, isn't
You
there?
need to start eating your carrots.
Yeah, you do. And that's good and bad in equal measure. I mean, I'm on holiday. I don't necessarily want to see everything that's around. I'm all inclusive. I've taken advantage. So, but at the same time, it makes it. Does it make it? No, it doesn't make it feel more seedy, does it? It just makes it feel more closed in because it's dark. I guess.
Yeah.
And what we didn't realise was the big bed that we ended up on in the middle, very similar to the one at Liberty's, the big bed.
Yeah.
This was kind of 4 beds long instead of 4 beds. 2 beds and 2 beds.
Yeah.
And we didn't realise it was like right by the walkway as people came in and out, but it's because that dark you don't really notice.
Oh, okay.
And we'd been in there for a while, maybe an hour, and didn't realise until the end that there was a youngish couple sat opposite where we were. He'd been sat watching us for about the last 35 minutes, and they were no further away than I'm talking to you here.
Really?
I'm sure they had popcorn. They were just sitting there watching.
Enjoying the show, I think.
So if you guys have, is it just purely clubs for you guys, or have you had private meets at all, or?
We've had one private meet at our house. That was with people we knew.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have done it the first time round.
It's very different, isn't it?
It is different.
Feeling.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Not at the minute. We haven't had a private meet, have we?
No, it's always been clubs so far.
Yeah.
We had got a hotel meet, which is, we've always been a bit kind of dubious about hotel meets. So how does that feel walking through the lobby of a hotel when you're not actually staying at the hotel? And then like the walk of shame afterwards.
I have done the walk of shame.
And then we had we met a couple not all that long ago. Had a social with them, which is what we tend to do first, just because we want to make sure there's some sort of connection with somebody. And I'd arranged to go to a hotel meet, but with circumstances, it just didn't happen. But we were prepared to give it a go, and I think a lot of that comes down to the people.
Yeah.
Doesn't it, really?
It's true. I mean, we
hotels feel naughty anyway.
They do feel naughty, I have to admit. We had a friend who we played with for a few years, didn't we? And we've talked about him on the podcast before. And I think he is listening. So, hello. And what happened was he used to come down every couple of weeks and stay over at a hotel which was very close to where we lived. And we played where we both used to go, didn't we? But then there were times when I'd just meet him there.
Which would add to our dynamic. It was just, it just made it sexy, made it really naughty.
And it did feel naughty when you're walking into, the foyer of a hotel, you're meeting somebody, and then you literally pottle off to a room. You just feel like everybody's watching you going, I know what they're doing.
Yeah. Funnily enough, actually, there's a hotel not too far from Libs, quite a nice hotel. And Rake and Rascal was staying there, and we were staying on site for one of the events that we came to. But you decided
it was
to stay at the hotel.
Valentine's, because we were listening to your sweetie talk the other day.
Yes.
And we said about we had the heart lollipops.
That's right, yeah, we came to our son. And then I said to Cherry in the car, they said, what was on those lollipops? What would have been on those wrappers of those lollipops? And I went, don't know. He's not pregnant, so he'll be all right. And you guys were staying in the hotel, and we came to pick you up, didn't we? And I said to Cherry, this could be like a sample of what it'd be like to go to a hotel meet. Yeah. So we parked up, we know the room number, we're not going to reception.
Yeah.
She says, what do we do? And I went, walk with purpose, like just make it look like you know where you're going.
I'm going for a shag, I'm walking with purpose.
I walked into the hotel, and the first thing I was like, I've been here before. But not for that purpose, for a work event, because it's got a big room, like big conferencing rooms. And then I thought, so I know where the rooms are because I stayed here. And so I just said, go to reception, turn right and keep on going, and then it's just like follow for the rooms. And once you pass reception, you're safe, aren't you, really? No one's going to catch you then. Except if you fall up the stairs.
Yeah, I'm so clumsy.
See, my memory of doing the hotel meet was very bad indeed. I made it past the reception area relatively safely. We thought this would be sexy. In our brains it was sexy, this scenario was, but in reality, for me, it wasn't. So we thought Mrs N and our friend would start first, and I would have the key card, those shitty key cards, forgetting that once you take the key card away from the room, all the electric and everything goes off in the room. So Mrs N and our friend was left in darkness. I had the key card. Mrs N came back out to the car park, gave me the key card. I kind of sat there for 15 minutes, thought, this is a bit shit now, I'm a bit bored. So I'll go in now. It'll be starting now, it'll be good. So 15 minutes, I was terrified walking past reception like I was doing some sort of heist or something to steal bed sheets or something. And I got past. Towels. Yeah, you just know, I just felt that the receptionist's eyes boring into me, but I made it past reception. The worst bit was I could hear Mrs N's laugh from the sort of like, it was a lot, you know what they're like, the thin, narrow corridors just with loads and loads. And I'm like, oh shit. And then just as I turned, there was some woman coming, which was obviously some maid or something with loads and loads of sheets. I'm like, oh no, if I just open the door and they're having sex, I'm going to look like a pervert. And so then, to make matters even worse, the key card would not open the door. So I'm like, any minute that maid's going to come and offer to help open this door.
Trying to have a bit of a steamy, naughty sexual encounter, and all I can hear is this door rattling.
And all I could hear was frantic fucking the other side. I'm like, please don't help open this door. Please.
In the end, I had to turn around and say to the guys, he can't get in. Can you go open the door for him?
Our friend came to the door, Billy Bollock naked. I literally dived into the door like a goalkeeper going after the World Cup save. It was the most god-awful experience ever.
Yeah, didn't quite turn out as sexy as he thought it was going to be, did we, dear?
No.
But have you repeated it since to make up for that?
No, I just went to the hotel on my own then, didn't I? Left you home.
We just hire whole hotels like this.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the way to do it, isn't it?
If you hear any doors rattling in the middle of the night, just it'd probably be him.
Is the key code doors?
Yeah. We've got some more people. We've got some more people. Sarah and Jim.
Hi, guys.
Everybody's coming.
Everybody's
I'm
here.
not on the beer already.
Yeah.
I know.
I've lost my train of thought now.
Hotels.
Hotels.
So that same night, you going back into the hotel.
Oh, yeah. you decided to do your own little walk.
Oh, hello. There's a story here.
Well, I decided that I would take one of those long Macs, and then instead of having to get dressed, I just left what was on.
Good idea.
As you do.
As you
Probably
do,
wasn't a lot
wrapped
at that
up,
time of
It
night.
wasn't.
and strutted my stuff past the reception and back up to the room.
And then I got, typical open the coat when she
As you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, the walk of shame thing is quite weird because I think I can't remember how long we'd been playing with our friend, but it was one where you dropped me off at the hotel, didn't you? And he met me in reception. We went off to the room. We'd videoed for you, hadn't we? And then we were getting ready to go and do the walk of shame out of the hotel. You might as well have it just written all over your face, hadn't you? I've just been for a shag, mate. Because that's what you feel like everybody's just glaring at you.
Yeah, especially if you're going to sort of hand your key back in.
Yeah.
I remember in particular as well one occasion when we went, because we did this quite a few times, was when we went and then we had to leave and she went, the car park, it's like, which room are you staying in? Because you get your free car parking, we're not in a room. And she saw that we walked out of the room section, she just went, oh. Just like, oh shit. I just wanted to bury my head in this car park machine.
Yeah, what makes it worse is it's really local to us as well, isn't it?
I mean, technically in hotels you can have guests in your room, can't you? You just can't stay over. But even still, it still feels bizarre.
Yeah.
We haven't
actually done it yet anyway.
It did feel naughty, even after all of that malarkey that went on. But when we did it, it did feel naughty. It did. Yeah. There was an air of it.
But if you think about just going to a hotel as a couple when you've got a night away, tonight, for example, or anything like that, one of the first things you do normally when you go to a hotel room is break the bed in, don't you? So all you're doing is just in it with somebody else anyway. So there's something nice about being away in somewhere that's not your own bed.
Exactly.
Didn't we have a funny moment as well when we went to? Was it the first time we went to Penthouse?
Oh, God.
And when we were checking into the hotel,
Rake's head in his hands now. This is good.
We'd driven separately because he was somewhere with work, so he'd come from a different direction to me. So we'd pulled up in two different cars, having to register two different vehicles. He couldn't remember.
Well, you just
changed my car, so he couldn't remember the registration number. And I was just thinking, God, she must think that we must be having an affair.
We got the look of, okay.
Yeah, okay, won't ask any more questions.
Mr. and Mrs.
Enjoy your
Smith?
day.
Yes, of course it is.
Going anywhere nice tonight?
We're fuck other people, we're not having an affair.
We don't need to have an affair. But then you go to, there's one club, which we've been to once, but if you stay in the local hotel, they send a minibus for you.
Yes, there is, which is a great idea.
It is, yeah. It's pretty obvious, but yeah.
That is true.
Everyone's sat in the bar going, yeah, there's an English.
It was funny. I think the first time that we went to Liberty Lee, when you made us sit in the car park for an hour, when we finally plucked the courage to get out of the car to go to the front door, there was a taxi driver just dropping somebody off, weren't they?
And you just realised the casualness of it.
It was first name terms. Good night.
This woman was like, bye, George. First name terms with the taxi driver. Enjoy your sex.
I think they're probably just intrigued, really, aren't they?
Yeah. I think so, but then you realise, and here we are years later, and we're just like totally casual about it. We've driven through Bewdley with literally V to V on our number plate in the past.
Yeah.
It's like,
what the hell?
It is. You just become...
So did you guys have like a preconceived idea of what a club was going to be like?
No idea.
No,
I don't think I did.
I mean, we'd watched some of those Channel 4 programmes, hadn't we? So
we'd watched the Libs one.
Yeah, so we knew what inside looked like.
Yeah.
But obviously not what it would look like with people in.
Yeah.
Or 250 of them.
But again, I think, like Bridgerton and the way that that's portrayed, obviously in kind of like the TV programme that you might watch.
Yeah.
You kind of have this idea, you think, it could be like that, but actually it's nothing at all like that.
No.
I don't think the documentary does portray it how it actually is.
Well, it's not showing you that.
It's quite
that
false
side
in that sense, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good word.
It's not. I don't say false negatively because the programme has certainly set conversations alike, hasn't it? And it's it's viewing numbers as well. We know that there's an element of viewing numbers to things like that. But it has kind of awakened people's senses to what could be if they wanted to. It's just that if you were thinking of going into the lifestyle, the swinging, the naughty hobby, and we all call it something slightly different, don't we? For that, you're going to be a bit disappointed.
Yeah.
There's elements of that, but that's not what it's like in the real world. Actually, in some ways, I think what you experience is better than that.
Yeah. We've been asked so many times, why don't you do a video of the podcast? And it's like, because you wouldn't get it as real as it is. The podcast is totally real. We have real people like yourselves on. We've not discussed anything. We make it all up as we go along. But there's no way that would happen with cameras. And we remember when the cameras were advertised at Lips, and it's like, you can come to Libs, the camera's going to be here that night. Obviously, they didn't just bring the cameras and go, by the way, folks, Channel 4's here. Smile. People mid-stroke in the playroom going, what the fuck?
I didn't sign up for this.
And we remember, so literally, obviously, none of the members that night would go.
No.
Because
everybody just went, no.
Yeah, obviously the people that you will get are the people that are promoting their OnlyFans and doing stuff, which is nothing wrong with that. But you won't get a true feel of what things are like and the true eclectic mix, I think, of the people that you meet.
Yeah.
And we always say, like, you'll be standing at the bar, there'll be like a footballer one side of you and a high court judge the other. Yeah. It's just like such an eclectic mix, but everybody just like seems to gel together in a weird way.
So did you guys have that kind of conversation then? If you first time when you came to Libs for the V2V party, apart from going, this is just manic here, ridiculous. Did you guys then sort of like have a bit of a debrief afterwards to sort of say, what the hell has just happened to us?
We all went for breakfast the next morning, didn't we?
6 of the 8 of us went for breakfast, didn't we?
And we were just sat there with our mouths wide open and eating our sausage and like, what did we do last night?
It was a bit of like a high and a my God and then a high and then oh my God.
Did you actually see the playroom?
We actually made it because we thought, I've come to the club for the film. I want to get into the hot tub.
Yeah.
I want to get into the big room. We walked around the hot tub, tripping over people as we went. I mean, there was no room in there.
We watched you go in, didn't you? And then you quickly got back out.
We went in the hot tub. It was probably getting a little bit later in the evening by the time we actually went in. It was a bit milky in there. It was we've got a hot tub at home and we know you have to keep on top of the water quality and the chemicals, but when that many people have been in it for a while, no,
I don't think even we managed to get in there that night, did we?
We got in for a few seconds and I'm like, I need a shower. Let me get out. Let me shower.
That's when we sent the scouts off to go and find a place.
Yeah. I remember Mr. N coming up to me saying, go and poke your head round the door to the big playroom. He said, you will not believe what you just seeing.
We didn't even need to do that, though. All we had to do is walk outside. On the grass,
true.
under the tree.
That is true.
Over the table. Everywhere you look, there was somebody fucking, wasn't there?
And do you know what? Do you know the thing that really upset Mr. N more than anything?
It wasn't him.
Nobody played his volleyball.
I remember you going on about the volleyball.
I was really pissed off about my volleyball.
It was like, well, that didn't work, did it?
I'd set out to watch naked volleyball. It didn't happen. That was up here in my
Probably
brain.
needs to make more of a feature game of it, though. So, like, the prize at the end of it. There you go. There's
something vibrating at the end of it.
Note for next year.
Exactly. I think, and the other thing I would say is that each club's different anyway.
Yeah.
Some are more open, some are a bit more bitty, broken up, lots of smaller rooms. Every one of them seems to get really hot.
Yeah.
They do.
They definitely need to invest in aircon.
Aircon, yeah.
We've been to clubs with aircon though. It still just gets boiling. I don't know what it is. It just gets so
It's just
hot.
the heat that everyone creates.
It is.
They can't keep up, can they?
It is.
Was it as hot as when you heard the podcast about us, though?
Oh, that though was funny when that happened.
So we've already just to pre that, we've got not a WhatsApp, but a Telegram group between all of the 8 of us anyway.
Yeah.
I had one, and so there's lots of chatter in there after the event and what we're going to do next and all that kind of stuff. And then up pops Rake one day saying,
Yeah, so I was on a flight with work, and normally I'm useless and forget to download anything, so I'm like, I'll download some podcasts. One of the podcasts was your one where you're going on about the V2V party. So I'm sat on a flight, and I'm about 1 hour into about a 2.5 hour flight, and you tell the story. So I'm sat there, mid-flight, for an hour and a half. I'm like, I nearly spat my drink out.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, we got more people.
It's Saucy and Busty. Shout. Hello.
I can't shout, I'm shy.
Oh, that was gone. Sorry, Karen, so you were mid-flight?
Yes, I'm then sat there for an hour and a half going, I need to tell someone.
She just stood up in the airplane.
So as soon as I landed, straight on the
You'll never guess what.
Yeah, that was pretty much the conversation.
So I was in clinic all day that day. Got to the train station to go and I thought, I just need to listen to this. Stood on the platform of the train station and I couldn't help but just burst out laughing. Everyone around me was like, you're doing that, isn't it?
I love it when people tell us the stories of where they are and what they're doing when they hear the podcast. It's just, it's brilliant.
We listen to them in the car, don't we? But you have to be careful the next time you get in the car, because obviously the last thing you watch comes on the screen.
It's usually you get to see my legs, don't you? Otherwise, sorry. Yeah, we have got somebody in trouble for that, haven't we? Bless him.
So, somebody got into trouble at work for
he
that.
Nearly lost his job over
that. That was years ago. Just
to
show how long the podcast's been going.
Yeah.
That was like early on, a couple of years ago. A guy sent us a message. We haven't been doing the podcast long.
No.
And he'd been listening to the podcast, and he'd
gone to collect some clients,
foreign clients
at the airport or something.
And then they literally got in, and on goes like Mrs. A, and the legs come up on the dashboard.
He's like, no.
And they just started giggling, laughing in French.
Bless him. But the poor bloke that's on the bicycle, he ends up in the hedge most weeks now, doesn't he? Little love, but...
My favourite bit, though, is you pop into work on a Monday morning after you've been to somewhere over the weekend. Did you have a good weekend? Yeah, it was all right. You just can't tell. Some people can, or you can just sit there smiling to yourself during the day, or this little flashback will come in and you message you with the half or the group, or and it's all that. It's that secret club you talked about earlier, that little closed world.
Yeah.
It is until you meet friends.
Yeah.
And then it starts to open up and it starts to grow, and then you can have that fun conversation that nobody else around you knows about, just between you, really.
Have you ever done the whole kind of telling the truth, but people obviously not having an idea that it actually is the truth.
We've had so many birthdays that we've been out for 8 months.
So, like, telling a story that it is a story in inverted commas, but actually it's the truth. No, I don't think we have actually.
Have you not? That's quite a fun game to play. If somebody says something to you and you just go, oh yeah, I mean, I think at work was a guy that I've known for years, bless him. He's a really lovely guy, and he'd come up to see my boss, and he was like, oh, what are you doing this weekend or everything? I said, we're running an event. And he said, oh, where's that at? I said, oh, some Freemasons place, because that was our story, wasn't it? That
we went to brilliantly for years.
It did work brilliantly for years. And he just went, he turned around to my boss and he went, oi! He says, she's off to a swingers party this weekend. And, you know, when you're just like, oh my God, if only you knew. It was just... But with Mr. N's best friend, who now actually knows everything, but we used to tell him stuff which was true. And he'd just look at us as if we were like mad. Yeah. And it's like, no, but it's actually true. But he didn't believe a word of it. It's great. It's such good fun.
I did have a friend once who was a Freemason, and I forgot he was a Freemason.
You told him you were going to a Freemason.
And I'm like, I'm going to Freemason. And the weird thing was, he's been asking me to join the Freemasons for years and years. And I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in your beanies and your aprons and shit. And he just sounds like a lot of hard work. You know, I'm not interested. And he's like, you're in the Freemasons now? You didn't tell me. I was like, oh, shit.
Be careful, your sins will find you out.
No, I'm just DJing. It's just a one-off. Which one are you doing? Which one are you at? I'm like, oh, this is too many questions.
Not one you're going to.
I can't think. I'm trying to think. Just leave me alone.
The other game that is really good fun to play is guess who the swinger is. So, you know, if you're out anywhere, group of people at work, whatever, somebody is going to be one other than you.
You can find out who just like gone to Fab or...
Yeah.
And do the whole, look who's near. Yeah. We've done that.
We've been caught out on Fab then.
Yeah, you know the whole kind... So nobody in Vanilla World for us knows...
Yeah.
New. And then as happens, you kind of scroll through and you think, I describe this as a mixture between naked attraction and first dates.
Yeah.
So you're basically scrolling through, looking at people naked, potentially in intimate poses and one thing, and deciding whether you like the look of them or not, to then choose whether you want to go and meet them or not for a first date. And so we're doing our bit of naked attraction by scrolling through it. Oh, they seem like a nice enough couple. So send a message, start up a conversation. Obviously, you don't see faces for most of the time to begin, do you? Unless you decide to see faces. And then one of the other couples that's not here today that went with us on that night out, we're also talking to them. I said, oh yeah, they're really nice. We met them for a drink not long ago, and they met at a pub not that far from us. Well, oh yeah, I know that pub. And so he said, oh, well, should we just do a social and then we'll meet up? And I said, yeah, why not? And we're like, yeah, fine. You went off one day with your mum, and while you were out, I was just... Something had always just niggled me very slightly in the back of my mind about... There's something familiar here and I don't know what it is.
No.
And then it just suddenly dawned on me. I was in the house and it suddenly dawned on me. I was like, oh shit, I know who they are. And then Cherry came home from being out and I said, I need to talk to you. She went, you okay? I went, yeah, I'm fine. I just need to talk to you. She said, you don't look very well. I was like, I'm a bit pale, but you know. And I said, come upstairs now. She said, what? She said, and I said, you know that couple we were talking to? I said, yeah. She goes, I can't obviously say their names, but I said, it's such and such and such. She went, yeah, I know. No. It's them. And she's like, oh, shit. These are people we've known for 20 years.
Oh, my God.
That we've worked with for years. Literally in the next room down.
So had you done the face swap with them? No.
Because we hadn't, which is probably a good job.
It's like once you do the face swap, that's what happened to us. We did a face swap, and it was let's just say a family neighbour, you know, that's all we need to say. And they'd sent their photo, and I was like, oh, shit. And we could have done two things. At that point, you do one or two things. You either go block and just forget.
Which is what we did.
Yeah.
Or we did the thing where we're like, look, okay, we know you. This was before we had our faces and stuff out there. And we just did we know you. And that was that.
It happened with a school friend as well, didn't it?
Yeah, he was. There was like an age of silence before he actually texted back and went, "Oh my God." And I think he'd like had several heart attacks before.
Bless him.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we realised, and in a moment of panic, obviously the first time it happened to us, and just kind of blocked immediately and thought we need some thinking time here.
I was like, that person was my mentor when I was at university. And he can't see my boobs.
It's a weird thing to get your head round, isn't it? When I know this is going to sound probably really strange to a lot of listeners and the people that are in the naughty hobby. When you think about, what we do and we play and everything else, and then when you find somebody that you actually know and it's like, no, they can't see me naked. Yeah. It just seems really weird.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, when you meet people, even if you've never friended them on one of the apps or Fab or anything like that, and you meet them in a club or something similar, to see them if you go searching and to connect and whatever afterwards, fine. It seems absolutely normal.
Yeah.
But if it was to be your friend that you saw, your vanilla friend that you suddenly thought, you're like, oh, that doesn't feel quite the same.
Yeah. It is quite odd, isn't it?
That's so true.
The other couple reached out, not a phrase I use very often, reached out to the other people we were talking, the other friends that were with us, and said, "We know who they are. They can't hide." Nicer than that. They were nice, but sort of said, "The elephant in the room's out. Might as well just have that conversation." So we arranged to see them, didn't we? Which we needed to do really, because these are people we used to bump into Asda, and so that wasn't going to be the first time I was going to bump into them again. They realised it was us. We knew that it was them. We just need to go and have a social, and it was absolutely fine. And we're still very good friends. In fact, they've invited us to come to club nights with them and things like that. We haven't done that.
No.
But
see, we had a slightly different.
Yeah, you've got a different story.
Okay, this sounds good.
So I'll let you tell this. Oh, okay. So my friend from uni I've known quite some time, as you can imagine. So we're out with the kids in the sun somewhere talking, and he's going on about him and his partner were looking at having a threesome or something like that, and they were exchanging pictures, and it's again all very excitable. And I can't remember exactly what he says, but he looks at us and he's like giving us this look, and we end up blurting out that we'd been to Penthouse at the time. And he's like,
you blurted out.
All right, I blurted out. All right. And he just looks at me and goes, "You, I can believe, but you."
The innocent face of Rascal.
I'm an angel.
We all get led astray, don't we, ladies?
We do.
Fast forward a bit, so he gets really curious about this, so we end up taking him for his first club trip.
Oh my God!
Oh, but that's a bit like
So
my
we've
old
done
school
it.
friend.
Yeah, we've done it.
But we get him there, and he's terrified.
With his partner,
obviously. He's going around, and we're walking around, and I don't know if you know Penthouse, there's a bit where the dungeon's quite open. So anyway, I get to this paddle, just walks on to him, smacks him across the back of his arse. Can you feel a bit more relaxed now? Yeah, I do actually. And then off he went then.
That's all you need to say. Good stuff.
Waved him on his way, and he went off and had fun.
Aww. It is funny though, isn't it, how it kind of...
But, yeah, it was. But we get back though to the hotel because we're both stopping in the hotel.
I wonder if you're going to tell this bit.
Yeah. So we're going into the hotel foyer, and we're going up to the rooms, and they keep finding excuses to hang back.
The vending machine.
The vending
tie
machine.
The
Left some in the car. And we go. We're just being polite, you're waiting for them to walk up to the room with them as you do. No, absolutely, we'd already said absolutely not happening.
Yeah.
Without question, not going there. So anyway, they kept making up these excuses, and in the end we got fed up. It was, sod this, we're going up to the room. Yeah. So he walks off, and literally less than 2 seconds they're behind us.
I said to you, look, they're actually behind us. That didn't take that long to do that vending machine that they were faffing with.
So the next morning I'm we're at breakfast, and it's all, he's got the post-club glow.
Yeah.
And I think it took him about 3 days to come down from that. But anyway, at breakfast I'm like, was you scared we were going to do something? And he just looked at me and he was like, yeah.
When did we become the experts?
Predators.
Seasoned swingers.
Yeah, we're at this stage, we're completely not, you know. Yeah, whilst we did the club tour, that was really pretty much just us, wasn't it? It was just going and seeing the sights and lots of them.
Seeing the sights.
There's a lot of clubs to choose from, though. You don't realise until you kind of talk to people or...
It's one of the fastest growing industries. If there's 400 nightclubs closed down this year or in the last 12 months in the UK, but swinging clubs are opening up. It's just literally the fastest growing industry in the UK. It's huge.
And is the age demographic still remaining similar, or is it changing?
So the age demographic still is the most is 40 to 50 years old in couples. So,
which, when you think about it, when we were younger, club nights are what we always used to do. If you look at the millennials or other youngers now, they don't do that.
No,
that's not what they do.
So we're just carrying on, but we're
exactly,
having more fun.
It's just got worse.
The oldest swingers in town.
What a perfect way to end the show.
It is. Oh, it's been a pleasure
guys,
to chat to you guys.
Thank you so much for having us. You're well.
Thanks for having us.
That's the end.
The night is still young.
Later.
Thanks for inviting us.
So we're in this time machine now. We're here on Friday, and we're here as the listener listens to this.
Yes.
We're actually here tonight.
We are.
We're here Friday, Saturday for Velvet Vixens.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, thank
you.
you.
Hold on a minute, I don't understand that. So, say that again. And I'm in the room.
So we're back in time here on Friday. We're here on Saturday. I don't even know what day it is anymore. We're here on Saturday, but when this podcast goes out on Friday, we are also here because we're here next week, which is not next week. It's last week. Well, it's all very confusing.
It's getting worse.
I need a drink.
So essentially, you're here quite a lot.
Yes.
At the moment.
Is your leather chair then?
I know. I'm liking this. I think we should just do all the podcasts in here.
I know. Yeah.
You just need your cat there to spend.
Actually, I have to tell you, when we were walking through Bewdley, we walked through this little park area, didn't we? And there was a cat just sat on the bench. Really friendly cat. So I could have picked it up and brought it back in.
Great story.
Yeah, sorry. I'd say that.
I thought you were going somewhere with a cat.
No, but if you do happen to be in Bewdley and you walk through the park and the cat is there, I have stroked that pussy.
And on that bombshell, guys, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
And thank you for all that you do as well.
Oh, bless you.
When you, as newbies into the world, who do you talk to? What do you listen to? How do you learn? Because like everything, you've got to learn the ways of the world, haven't you? And language, terminology.
Yeah.
But it's thanks to people like you that are sharing your stories.
It is.
Because, without everybody, it doesn't work. Nobody wants to listen to us week after week. So it's thanks to people like you.
Yeah, they do, because they keep tuning in.
We always say, because whenever we are asking people to come on the podcast and they say, well, I haven't got anything to say. It's like, yeah, but you don't understand. Your story will resonate with somebody.
Yeah.
And everybody's story is different.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's
we're
what
on
you
a
do.
journey, aren't we? It's
learning
all the
It
time.
is the J word. We say that.
I know. And it's, whatever way you want to look at it, things change over time as well, don't they? Like they do with everything. And I've heard you say before that what's right sometimes is not right the next time.
Yeah.
And so things move, they're fluid. And,
all the time.
There's a lot about people, circumstance, environment, what's happened to you leading into... that night that you're out and about or whatever. So it's all sorts of variables.
To ask all of you, just quickly before we disappear, when you first got into the hobby, was your main thing about sex, or was it more about making connections with people and friendships and things?
For me, it was connections and friendships and just having, I suppose, people that you can talk to and not be judged. Whatever topic it was, it could be a topic you can discuss. Many things you can't discuss with vanilla friends, as we now call them.
It's true.
The muggles.
It's true.
We've been in trouble for saying that word.
There was an element of sex to it, of course, but I think a lot was around finding other people to have fun with and to connect with, and whatever level that is. And soft swap, hard, whatever you want to describe it as, actually fun, connections, people you can share, events, times, stories, And like you said before, in a non-judgmental way, because unfortunately life can be very judgmental.
And then you take that home, and that's something that just you share with your partner. It's
really nice because it's something that we have that's sort of enhanced our marriage.
Exactly, to your relationships of because we said this, didn't we, when we first started out? That
it's something you giggle about amongst yourselves, only you know. And
it's a little secret.
And it's lovely. It is so nice. But we said, didn't we, that it was an enhancement of our own relationship anyway. Because there's a lot of people out there that just go, it's just a license to cheat and you just want to have sex with other people. And it's like, no, you don't get it. It's so hard to explain to somebody that isn't in the hobby.
It's actually, for me, given such confidence, more body confidence for myself, and just being freer from all of like social media and judgment of what a body's supposed to look like, and to just sort of be me almost. What's the word? Rediscovering myself.
It's about being authentic, isn't it? Yeah. Rake and I have talked quite a few times about watching the two ladies kind of flourish over the last 12 months and become more confident in themselves and in how they are and what they're prepared to wear or not in certain circumstances, and that's
But have you really noticed that's kind of like seeped into your day-to-day life now as well, or your work life?
Don't argue with her now. The confidence has got.
Good girl.
I think I would say I've seen that. In day-to-day life.
That's
cool. And there's something about not wasting your energy on people that don't necessarily deserve your time, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people that want to take a lot out of you.
Yeah.
And they don't want it. I'm not. You don't do things to get something in return.
No.
But there's a lot of people that want to take from you all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't see any of that.
It does change you. It does change you. We have friends in the hobby that we will tell things to and share things with that we just wouldn't with.
No.
And it's nothing against the vanilla friends or anything like that. It's just that you share something with friends in the hobby, isn't it?
It's definitely a deeper level of friendship.
I think. Definitely. I don't think any of my vanilla friends have ever sent me a photograph of their semi-flaccid penis when their wife has just taken a chunk out of it by accident. That's what it does to you.
That wasn't me, Ola.
You knew what was going through my brain then, didn't you?
But if the person listens to it, and I know they will, they'll know it's him.
We'll be seeing them shortly.
So you'll meet them tonight.
Right.
But it's the entertaining conversations you can have about that sort of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's an exciting adventure. It feels like life has begun almost.
Because obviously as you go through, life in general is, you go through school, then you go through work, and then you meet somebody, and then you get married, and then you have kids, and then it's just like what kind of happens after that.
Yeah.
And the hobby gives you that same excitement of your life hasn't stopped. It's almost like it's started to begin again.
Yeah, I think for us as well, our kids are getting a bit older now, so we were finding more time for ourselves.
Yeah.
And you do see people that they've only ever been together because of the children, or that their kids have been their whole life, and then the kids go, and they're like, what do we do now?
Yeah, exactly.
And we've always tried to maintain that kind of date nights and all that sort of right the way through the kids growing up. This is just an extension of date night. It just happens to include other people as well, I guess.
Exactly.
But it just keeps things interesting in your own life as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Could we walk away from it tomorrow, though? In some ways I would say yes, in some ways I'd say no. Could walk away from the sex tomorrow. That's, if it meant that we weren't going to stay together. But actually, some of the friendships, I couldn't walk away from those now.
No, exactly.
Because we've met new people.
We've said exactly the same thing. Oh, no, we're having that's a really lovely moment. But it is so true, because we've said exactly the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the reason we call it the naughty hobby is because people do dip in and out because of circumstances in their lives and whatever else. But once you've got those friendships, and they are incredible friendships, aren't they?
Absolutely.
It's like a friendship you've never known.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It is.
What I've always wanted.
Yes, always wanted.
Yeah.
Finally found my bestie.
Oh, that's so lovely.
People you want to spend time with rather than people you feel you have to spend time with.
That's so true.
That is so
you can
true,
end up
isn't
with
it?
You wanted to finish this like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, it's okay. No, it's fine.
Sorry, listeners.
Who wanted a sex party anyway?
Sit here at 9 o'clock.
I just need someone to bring us a drink. We'll stay here for a couple of hours. As you go through your life, you pick up friends along the way, don't you?
Yeah.
And some of those hang on. Or those friendships hang on, and they sort of they run their course of time. So friends for a reason, friends for a season, friends for life, that kind of thing. And then sometimes you just can't get rid of people, can you? And so,
sorry, do you want us to leave?
No. We're probably the one that's supposed to leave. You've probably got loads of prep to do, but it's just that it's just a different way of looking at things, isn't it?
One of the best things I ever heard in my life, and I think this is brilliant. It was actually by a guy who does spiritual teaching. And he equated friendship to car journeys.
Yes, he did.
And he said you will pick up people and toxicity in friendships. Yeah. And basically you will pick people up. And you can do this without hatred, where if you pick somebody up and you're going on a car journey, but they're ending up going in a different direction to you, and you can be really good friends with them and be on the same road for miles and miles. But then people change and things happen and whatever, and they're going in a different direction. It doesn't mean that you have to have hatred with them or fall out with them, but you can just say, okay, this is now your stop, and I'm letting you get out of my car, and I'm carrying on my journey and where I'm going. And it's letting them just step out the car and go. And to me, that was such a beautiful way of explaining it. It doesn't mean that you won't see them again or anything, but it's just you're letting them get out of your vehicle and doing their kind of journey thing. I've gone very deep now.
That's one of the things we came here for, was to find new friendships and to find people with similar outlook on life to us, and to leave behind some of those people that had reached their stop in their journey in our life. Yeah. We kind of, no one had done anything wrong or done anything to us or anything like that, but just, time for us to move on, and our journey is going in a different direction. This is a journey. Our car journey is going in a different direction. And
exactly.
I think we've talked to Rake and Rascal, you've said the same. Doesn't mean you don't still have them as friends. They just don't feature as much.
Exactly. They say people come in and out of your life for reasons, whether they're there for a short time or a long time. Absolutely. It's part of it, but it's a lovely way to think about.
Even in the naughty hobby as well, though, you will meet people, because we have, where I'm going to use the word journey. Their journey is going in a different direction. They've got a different reason for wanting to be doing this or to be, and that's fine as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just knowing when to kind of move away from that, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think what's important is just to know that you're on your own journey, but you might find amazing friends along the way.
Absolutely.
But it's always you and your husband or wife. It's your journey together, isn't it?
You go together and leave together.
And whatever your expectations or limitations or boundaries are yours, and no one else is to decide.
Absolutely.
But I would say my last point, and I will stop. The people I have quite a lot of admiration for in the hobby is the single people. Single male, single female.
Absolutely.
Going out and doing this on your own. It's hard enough as a couple to have someone to talk to, debrief with, hold your hand, and more. And but to be a single, that's brave actually.
It is.
And I do have a lot of admiration for. I would never do that if I was single.
It is. I think we try and encourage like the V2V chat rooms and things, especially for single guys, single girls in there. To try and so they have got people to bounce off of, and just talk to, because it wasn't until a single lady said to us, when you go home at night, there's just you've got no one to tell and share what an amazing mind-blowing experience you've had or whatever. And
they said, didn't they, at the time, it's you're in the euphoria of it, but then you go home and it's all a little bit flat.
That high would become a low very quickly. Whereas if you're with your partner, you still got a couple of days of fun to have after that, haven't you? While you're still talking about it, and so you kind of come down more gently, I guess. But if you want, you could come down with a bang.
And also going out as well, you go out to a club, and if you're a couple, you can have a great night just with yourselves, and you go and play together, and that's it. But then if you're single, you go in there and there's no play, so you might just go and literally just sit there and have a drink and go home. So the experiences are very, very different on those singles.
Yeah, they are.
But we try and look after singles as much as we can at V2B.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys.
Cheers, guys. We'll let you get off get yourselves a drink, get ready.
We've missed the sex party now, but we'll have breakfast. We'll have breakfast. It'll be great.
We'll have sexy breakfast with a load of sausage.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Rennie's going to be busting some moves later, so make sure you're on the dance floor with us later.
Thank you so much.
I'm very good at dad dancing.
Yay!
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.